Imaginary is a brand new 2024 film that was directed by Jeff Wadlow, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is a film that is not being praised very much by the horror audience. This is released by Blumhouse, and this is definitely one of their more generic, PG-13, crowd-friendly horror movies that, amongst pretty much all the discussion that I have heard of, like I said, not really well liked and not being really well received, which I can understand. I mean, the trailer is not really a trailer that blew me away in the first place, and I'm trying to watch more horror movies this year than I ever have, and I'm trying to like really dive into every single horror movie, even if it doesn't appeal to me. And I shouldn't just say horror movies; I mean all movies in general. But because I review a lot of horror movies is something that I seek often. But I decided to give this one a shot anyway, even though I didn't hear anything good about it. And I do have some good things to say about this film. And I like talking positive about films in general. So there are some positives about this film that I will mention, and I'll mention them first. But I will say that everything I've heard is correct. It's not the greatest film. But let's start with the positives for sure, because there are some. First of all, there's a little girl actress that plays in this film, and she is the best actress in the film. And I mean by quite a bit. Like, she's the best by a mile compared to the teen, compared to the stepmom, compared to the weird old lady neighbor. This little girl is the best in the film. Her performance is so good. She can, when she's traumatized, when she's scared, you can she's believable. You can see it in her face. Her tears seem genuine. She's really funny. I mean, there's really funny moments. There's a neighbor in particular that comes into the plot, and this neighbor's an asshole. I mean, this guy is just the type of kid you despise. And he starts hanging out with the teen girl, and he wants to get close to the teen girl, whatever. But this guy is exactly the type of kid you want to keep away from your daughter. And he's just a psychopath. Anyway, there's this kind of like verbal battle that he has with the little girl, and the little girl like owns him in a few scenes. And there's one line that she drops at one point that just made me howl. Like, she's so funny, and for being the youngest person in this movie, I mean, she annihilates everybody in my opinion. Like, her performance is just so good in this. Another thing I really liked about this film is there's certain moments that don't rely on jump scares, which is good. This film is packed with jump scares, don't get me wrong. But there's certain moments that they will show creepy imagery and creepy faces behind somebody, or usually like way in the distance, that like in the corner or something, like in the background, that I really appreciated. Now, the person who perfected this is Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan can do this to a T, and I think he's the master at it. You should all, I've mentioned this film before, but everybody should go watch Absentia, which is his first film. That he just kills it when it comes to creepy images in the background that actually make you jump without the jump scares. Like, it's like jump scares but missing the noise and missing the doo that everybody relies on. Mike Flanagan can just use creepiness and make it scare you, like make you notice it and jump like, whoa, that's the creepiest imagery I've ever seen. This film does it like he does. Obviously nowhere close to as good. Nobody can touch him. But this film at least attempts to do it, and I liked that they added that into the movie instead of just being jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. And then lastly, what I liked about this film is there's this jingle that will get stuck in your head, and it involves this music box, and it's like the main kind of theme throughout the film. This music box sounding jingle that'll play fast and slow, and it's just part of the plot kind of thing. I really liked that jingle, and I thought that jingle was effective in being creepy again, especially with the creepy imagery, and they used it in the right moments, and they didn't overuse it, and it's just effective, and it was really capturing to the ear, you could say. That's it. Everything else, the film is extremely generic. I've heard people say this feels like a film made by AI, and I can't disagree. The third act is horrendous. Like, I mean, just the plot goes into dumb territory. The script is just dumb, 95% of it. Like I said, there's good lines by the little girl, but the majority of the script is not good. But it's just the damn plot. The plot is so dumb. Like the things that happen. It kind of reminds me of like M Night Shyamalan movies, certain ones, you know, where like plots will get weird, like with The Village and with the film that he didn't direct but he produced, Devil, where the guy flips toast and it's like bad things happen if it falls upside down. Like really stupid plot points that are just kind of like, who wrote this? This film is loaded with that, but they're not even creative. At least M Night Shyamalan is like interesting because you never see, like you don't see it in other films. He's unique with the dumb shit that he puts in his movies. This one is dumb shit, but it's just not clever. There's nothing clever in this movie, and it's just, it is so tropey, and it is so exactly what you would expect from a PG-13. I mean, it feels like a January movie, even though it didn't come out in January. It's just, it's not interesting, and it's not. You know, that whole third act was the worst. I checked out completely. It was somewhat enjoyable for the first two acts, but that third, I'm just like, nope, I don't ever need to watch this again. And I just was right checked out. I'm done. I'm done. Like, there's this like bedroom scene where they're starting to use paint, and the mom is painting walls to get to some imaginary world, and they, you know, the real mom of the kids is introduced, and she had some like mental things going on. She comes back in the third act, and the father of the stepmom, who also had a mental illness go on, he comes back, and they're all in an imaginary world, and it's just, it turns into like Insidious but really stupid instead of clever. It's just, it's not good. It's not good. So focus. The things that I mentioned that are good are good. That's, you know, of course there's always going to be things I enjoy in the movie, and it's not like a dumpster fire necessarily, because people, like, I've heard people say that there's nothing good in this movie, and I mean, like I said, I've picked out a couple things, but there's not that many good things in this movie. I have seen worse, but this is close to the bottom for everything I've seen this year. So that's Imaginary. I just wanted to talk about it for a little bit. I don't recommend it, but if you can watch it for free somewhere, if it starts streaming on Netflix or something like that, view at your own discretion. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.